Hello, this is Erich Hunter, and today I want to talk a little bit about negative entities. If you're a healer doing healing work, occasionally you're going to encounter negative entities. And there is a lot of bad information out there about how to handle the situation when you do encounter a negative entity. And many of the techniques that are recommended are actually harmful both to you and the person who you're trying to heal. So what I want to do in this short video is just introduce the topic of negative entities and just sort of outline a general strategy about how you can handle them. So the first question is, what are negative entities in the first place? And negative entities are essentially energy beings. These are almost like living beings. They can exist in various forms of solidity in our world. So sometimes they can only manifest as maybe a faint shadow or maybe even a sound. In other cases, they take on a very distinct physical form and they can touch you, feel you. They can also take over a person's body or inhabit places like homes or areas outdoors. So it's a wide range of intensities and strengths of these things. And they're very powerful and they're very common. So in our environment, these things are prevalent and many people are negatively affected by them. So what I want to do now is just go over a few of the different types of negative entities that you may see as a healer so that you're aware of them. Now, the first type of negative entities that are extremely common are the negative entities that cause illness. And they come in many different forms. These are two of the most common forms that I encounter during healings here. One is sort of like an energetic worm almost. And the other one is sort of a demonic, sort of winged-like creature that hangs around the person who's not feeling well. Now, the telltale signs of one of these are that the person inexplicably becomes very ill very fast. So out of the blue, like seemingly out of nowhere, they get a serious injury or an illness that is hard to understand how they got it based on their previous circumstances. That's how these things typically manifest. And while sometimes it's relatively benign, like a person may just get an intense stomach ache or may sprain their ankle or something, in other cases it can be deadly. I've encountered cases, I actually helped with a healing with a case where the entity had almost killed the person and the person was dying in the hospital. And when I did the entity removal work on that person, they immediately got better. And this was in spite of all of the medical care that this person had received. And the doctors had pretty much given up hope on this person. So, you can really have a profound effect by doing this work on people's health and well-being. Well, another area where entities commonly manifest is in the home. So you often hear of haunted houses. There are all those TV shows where people are going around trying to find ghosts. Well, guess what? It's not very hard to do. In your neighborhood, there are homes that have negative entities in them, and it's pretty easy to find them. And if you are sensitive to energies, you may encounter these things a lot. I have encountered many of them in the past. So with the negative entities in the home, it can manifest in many different ways. Sometimes you'll just hear strange sounds. You may see shadows. It can also manifest more in a physical form, which sometimes is referred to as being like a poltergeist, where you have the entity actually moving things in the house, making loud sounds. The entities can engage with you. They can touch you. They can scratch you. There is an entity that will hold you in your bed. Now, scientists claim that this is a sleep disorder, but if you've ever experienced this and you have any spiritual knowledge, you'll know that that may be a part of it, the sleep disorder, but there is something else that's more sinister behind it. So there are, many ways that these entities can come into your home and affect your home. And I can't go into all of them now, but basically the key here is that there is some sort of negative influence lowering the consciousness of your home. It could be a geopathic stressor. It could be a neighbor, or it could be someone in the house, or it could have been an event that happened in the past that's lowered the levels of consciousness in the house, the levels of love, and it's allowing these things to come in. There are also certain structural designs of a house and geographic locations of a house which can encourage these things to come in just passively. So you may be doing nothing wrong, or there may be nothing bad actually going on in your house, but just because of your geographic location, these things could just be constantly coming in. All right, another very common scenario where you encounter negative entities is outdoors. And you can encounter them in beautiful, pristine, wild areas. You can also encounter them in urban environments and anywhere in between. So this is an example of a street corner that has a lot of crime in a major city. And places like this, there are lots of negative entities that are there. The people are attracted to the place because they're at a very low vibration, they're violent, negative, angry, and the entities feed off that, and it creates this vicious cycle. So you get these areas where you have lots of negative entities, and you have lots of negative people coming, that attracts more negative entities, and it's a vicious circle that just goes round and round. All right, now each one of these different entities requires a different approach to the healing process. So, the way you heal house entities, there are specific things that you would do versus the pain and sickness entities versus the possession entities. And I can't go into all of the nuances of that here. I do have a course that I teach on how to do that. But I do want to show you two things you can do that are common to all of these. And you can use your pendulum to do this, and it will help a lot. And before we actually go into that, I just want to say that you really want to be careful that you don't get in over your head with this stuff. So there is the potential here for harm, so you need to use common sense and judgment. And I'm going to show you a method right now, which is really simple to use, and it's very safe, and there's really no way you can have negative repercussions from doing this, but you can actually shift the situation a lot and make things a lot better. And what is that method? Well, it's environmental change. And it's changing the environment so that negative entities no longer want to be there. If you get involved with confronting negative entities and trying to trap them or sending them to other dimensions or doing anything like that, forget it. It's dangerous. Exorcisms, forget it. The safest thing to do is just like adding water to the desert. If you add water to the desert, plants are going to grow. Well, guess what? If you raise a person's consciousness levels, or you increase the amount of love that they experience, like not love in the terms of possessive love or egoic love, but agape love, pure love. If you do that, you're going to create an environment which is hostile to negative entities, and they won't want to stay. So how do you do that? It's very simple. You think of the person or the place, the scenario where the negative entities are manifesting. You take your pendulum, and this is a Hunter Healer pendulum here. It's my custom pendulum, the mini version. Very powerful. You can use any pendulum that is a healing pendulum, preferably radiostatic colors, white or negative green. And if you're not familiar with those terms, I have a book, Pendulum Healing. I also have lots of free videos on YouTube, and I also have lots of classes that I offer about it, so you can learn all about it. So just take a pendulum. You can use any pendulum. You can even use your fingers if you don't have a pendulum, just kind of spin them around. And what you say is think of the person or the place, and you say, raise the consciousness of this person to the highest level possible for their health or well-being. Now, when I say raise the consciousness, I'm talking about Sensu David Hawkins with a scale of consciousness levels. So things like anger, rage, fear, these are all negative, and they're very low levels of consciousness. Things like understanding, acceptance, love, enlightenment, these are high levels of consciousness. Negative entities have absolutely no interest in high levels of consciousness. They're only interested in low levels of consciousness. So by raising the levels of consciousness, you can drive them off by changing the environment. Now you notice that the pendulum stops spinning and it's going side by side. That means we've finished, that the work is finished, and now the spell has been cast, the magic has been done, and we've raised the consciousness of this area. Now, another command you can do, which is very similar, is just raise the amount of agape love, of this pure love, this unconditional love, this love from the heart. Raise, or you could say raise the amount of heart consciousness or heart energy of the person or the place. And you just think about them, or you can make a witness card where you write their name on a card and hold this over the card, or you can even hold it over the person, or actually physically walk into the environment you're thinking about. Like, for example, if it's a particular room in your house or a particular street corner in your neighborhood, just walk out there with your pendulum and say, just increase the amount of love here. I want to increase the amount of love in this environment. And you just wait for it to stop spinning. So right now it's adding in love, agape love, pure love, not from the ego, but from the heart. And then it balances out. Nice. So now we're done. And it's really that simple. And you can affect massive change in your world by doing this, because not only will it drive off these negative entities, but it will make the people become more conscious, more aware, more heart-centered, and they won't be operating from these lower places of fear and negativity. And this actually works. I've used these techniques in all situations with negative entities and had amazing results. And there's no reason why you can't too. All right, well, there's a lot more to this topic. I have an entire class that I've created about it. So if you want more information, just go to my website. It's erichhunter.com, and I'll just put a link below in the description, and you can check it out. I also have my book, Pendulum Healing, which is a really popular book. It's really easy to use. It's instructions on how to use your pendulum to help heal people. And a lot of people are having success with my methods, which I'm really happy to report, because it would be one thing if I was just doing it, but other people are doing it too. So that's really cool. And I love that, spreading love and healing around the world. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And I hope to hear from you. Please leave a message below, sign up for my Facebook page, join my group, Pendulum Healing Radiothesia, or check out my other videos. I got lots of free information on the web about how to use pendulums to heal people and heal your world and make the world a better place. Well, take care and have a great day. Bye, y'all.